Hey, greetings, peace be upon everyone. I hope everybody is enjoying their new year. I've been away for a while, okay, because I had to take a break. Every once in a while, you got to take a little mental break to clear your mind up and get yourself together, etc., etc. So, hey, shout out to Asiatic Soldier. Shout out to you, brother. So it's been a minute since I did a video about Black history, etc. I want to give a special thanks to those who have been looking at my channel and been checking out my videos lately or whatnot. Okay, so it's been a minute, so I'm back at it again. So today's topic, I want to talk about the University of Georgia's riots of 1961. All right, so it took place around this time on this date, January 11th. Okay, and the situation happened because it was two African Americans by the name of Charlayne Hunter and Hamilton Holmes who were accepted to the University of Georgia. However, they were met with riots, and yeah, they were met with riots by the white mobs. Okay. So now you gotta remember this was during the Jim Crow period, right? And it was the beginning start of the civil rights movement taking place. Well, the civil rights came about, the movement came about like maybe 3 years after. All right. But this was during a time period where there was Jim Crow, and Jim Crow played a huge impact on African American lives. All right. So many people were trying to fight to get better jobs, decent education, etc. Now I know some of y'all might be asking question, well, why they could not go to the HBCU? That's a great question. They could have always went to the HBCU, but maybe they want to go to school for something, and maybe they could not find it at the HBCUs. Whatever they wanted to major in, maybe the HBCUs didn't have it, so they figure maybe they can go somewhere else and get it. So a lot of people may have a question about that, like, hey, well, what's going on? Why go to PWI as opposed to going to HBCU? But let's get into the history anyways. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share the channel. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some information from some websites, and also I'm going to share from this book right here. It's called The Way It Was in the South, The Black Experience in Georgia by Donald L. Grant. Now, it's hard to get this book because this book is out of print. However, it's a lot of valuable information when it comes to African American history and the experience. All right, so we're going to go there. So let's start with the website. Let me see something. Shout out to Spirit Wonder. Peace be upon you. How you doing? I hope everything going well. I hope you're enjoying your new year. So let's start with the University of Georgia's website. Okay. So right here, we're going to the University of Georgia, and it talks about desegregation. This was during the time of Black History Month. All right. So it said yesterday marked the first day of Black History Month of 2017. The University of Georgia celebrates Black History Month annually with a wide variety of programs and activity across the campus. And it says UGA holds a memorable place in civil rights movement history because of the integration of the university in 1961 by African American student Charlayne Hunter and Hamilton Holmes. Handpicked by the NAACP, their campaign brought significant media attention to the university, subsequently placing UGA at the epicenter of the South civil rights struggle. All right. So Hunter and Holmes were the first undergraduates to integrate the school, and in fact, they revitalized the national conversation over equality that had begun with Brown versus Board of Education. Now, if you guys know about the Brown versus Board of Education, let's look that up real quick before I continue. Let's go into the Brown versus Board of Education. Let's just give a background. Let's take a review on that real fast. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen right here. Okay, if you guys see the screen. All right, so the Brown versus Board Education of Topeka, right, which was in 1954, was a landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court that ruled that U.S. state laws establishing racial segregation in public schools are unconstitutional, even if the segregated schools are otherwise equal in quality. The decision partially overruled the court's 1896 decision, Plessy versus Ferguson, which had held that racial segregation did not, racial segregation laws did not violate the U.S. Constitution as long as the facility for each race were equal in quality, a doctrine that had come to be known as separate but equal. The court's unanimous decision in Brown and its related cases paved the way for integration and was a major victory of the civil rights movement and a model for many futures impact litigation cases. Okay, so all right, so the Brown versus the Board of Education basically saying that, hey, we're gonna have to desegregate the schools, meaning that what we're gonna have to do is we're going to integrate the students together. All right. So if you heard about Little Rock, Arkansas, um, just to name a few, right? The whole integration process taking place, yeah. But a lot of the states weren't going along with integrating students. They still wanted to be segregated. Okay. So some started right after the Brown versus Board education came about, and then some just waited later, but it took protesters and riots to get these schools to integrate African Americans. Now, let me go back to the website. Let me see. Go down. All right, so it goes on to say, while Hunter and Holmes endured riots and backlash, Mary Frances Early, a graduate student at the University of Michigan, decided to transfer to UGA to help them. Early became the university's first African American graduate on August 16, 1962, with a degree in music education. Her 42 helped pave the way for Hunter and Holmes' successful graduation. All right. It says Hunter and Holmes graduated in 1963. Holmes earned a Bachelor of Science degree in cum laude and later went on to medical school to become an orthopedic surgeon. Hunter pursued a career in journalism, working for outlets such as the New York Times, NPR, and CNN. Okay. So it says in 2001, UGA celebrated the 40th anniversary of desegregation by bringing several key civil rights figures from the 60s back to the campus, as well as naming the Hunter Holmes Academic Building in their honor. Since then, additional efforts have been made to celebrate those who work towards a more diverse University of Georgia. The graduate and professional scholars established a yearly lectures series honoring Early in 2001. UGA's Russell Library currently houses the Foot Soldier Project for Civil Rights Studies collection honoring largely unsung heroes, including Mary Frances Early, who in 2007 interview stated, "You have to appreciate the progress that has been made. A lot of good things have happened." Okay, so that's the website. Now, of course, it's not going to go into depth of what really took place as far as like the riots are concerned. Okay, it's not going to go into a lot of detail. It's just going to give you a little outline of that, right? Now, let's look at the background of who is Charlotte Hunter and H.E. Holmes. So, we're going to look at who Charlotte Hunter was. All right. So, Charlayne Hunter Galt holds a place in Georgia civil rights history as one of the first two African American students admitted to University of Georgia, right? So it says she was born February 27, 1942 in Due West, South Carolina, the oldest child of Athea Ruth Brown and Charles S.H. Hunter Jr. So Hunter moved frequently during her childhood as her father, an Army chaplain, was transferred from one base to another. Although her family lived together briefly during her father's postings in California, Ohio, Indiana, Hunter spent most of her childhood in Covington and Atlanta. She and her brothers, Henry Franklin, were brought up primarily by their mother and their maternal grandmother, an avid reader, and early influence on Hunter's interest in newspaper. So in 1954, Hunter began the eighth grade at Atlanta's most prestigious black public high school. That is Henry McNeil Turner High. And I'm surprised. I didn't even know that they had a school named after Henry McNeil Turner. I really did not know that, to be honest. Let me continue. She left halfway through the year when her family relocated to Alaska with her father. After 9 months in Alaska, her parents separated and Hunter returned to Atlanta with her mother and brothers. Okay. And this is who she is today. All right. So, once again, at Turner High School, Hunter was active in numerous clubs and student organizations, including the school's newspaper, the student council, and the honor society. During her junior year, she surprised her Methodist family by converting to Roman Catholicism, electing homecoming queen her senior year. Hunter graduated in 1959 and third in her class. All right. Okay, so and it said that she had graduated from UGA in 1963 and accepted her first job as an electoral assistant at the New Yorker magazine in New York City. After advancing to the position of staff writer, she left the magazine to accept a Russell Sage Fellowship for 1 year. Okay. Then worked as a reporter and evening anchor for WRC TV in Washington, D.C. for another year. So Hunter returned to print journalism in 1968. Joined the Metropolitan staff the Metropolitan staff of the New York Times and establishing the newspaper Harlem Bureau. While working at the paper, Hunter married Ronald Galt, a banker, and had a son. Okay. So, skip further down, it said that she departed in NPR in 1999 to join CNN, where she served as the network's bureau chief and correspondent in Johannesburg, South Africa until 2005. And as a journalist, Hunter Galt has received numerous awards, including 2 National News and Documentary Emmy Awards, as well as 2 Peabody Awards. Okay. So, despite her difficulty as a student at UGA, Hunter Galt has maintained close ties with the university. In 1985, in celebration of the school's bicentennial, UGA created the annual Holmes Hunter Lecture. So Hunter Galt returned to the campus to deliver the commencement address in 1988. She was the school's first black graduate first black graduation speaker. In 1992, Hunter Galt published a memoir of her childhood and her years at UGA, In My Place, and together with Holmes, established an academic scholarship for African American students. All right. So that's the background of Miss Hunter or Mrs. Galt. Okay. So of course she went to school for journalism. Now, as let's see, as I was mentioning about H.E. Holmes, right? So H.E. Holmes was born here in Atlanta, Georgia, okay, in 1941. But unfortunately, he passed away in 1995. All right, due to a bypass surgery that he had. He died in his Atlanta home. However, he went to school and he got his degree. He got a cum laude, and he went on to be an orthopedic surgeon. Okay, so now what is an orthopedic surgeon? Let's look that up. So the job of an orthopedic surgeon uses both surgical and non-surgical means to treat musculoskeletal trauma, spine diseases, sport injuries, degenerative diseases, infections, tumors, and congenital disorder. Okay. All right. So what they do is they deal with your skeletons, basically. Like if you have some type of bone disease, or if you got a bone marrow issue, or whatever the case may be, that's where the orthopedic surgeon come in. They take care of all of that. So that's what he went to school for, to become an orthopedic surgeon. And unfortunately, he passed away in 1995 due to a bypass surgery that he had in his home. Um, but there is a train station that's named after him, and it's called H.E. Holmes train station. At one point in time, it was called Hightower, and I believe Hightower was named after Michael Hightower, who was the Fulton County Commissioner. So I believe that that's where Hightower got its name from. So in the beginning, it was Hightower Station. Then they changed it to H.E. Holmes Station. Okay, so if you ever catch the train, right, going westbound, at the very end of the stop, they'll yell at H.E. Holmes Station. Yeah, that was Hightower, and H.E. Holmes was named after Hamilton Holmes. Okay, to honor his memory. So I want to get into this book here. And like I said, this book is hard to find. It's called The Way It Was in the South, The Black Experience in Georgia by Donald L. Grant. It's very hard to find because it's out of print. But let's go ahead and let's get into it. So according to this book, it says Charlayne Hunter and Hamilton Holmes broke the color line in the University of Georgia several months before Atlanta began its desegregation. Okay, let me see something. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Let me. Okay. Okay, I had to fix my microphone because I don't know if you guys can really hear me on the mic. So let me get this microphone together. Let me fix this mic because I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, I hope you guys can hear me. All right. But anyways, now according to this book, right, it says Charlayne Hunter and Hamilton Holmes broke the color line at the University of Georgia several months before Atlanta began its desegregation. Both Hunter and Holmes applied to the university after their 1959 graduation with honors from Atlanta's Turner High School. They were denied admission purportedly because they had applied too late. So Hunter entered Wayne State University and Holmes enrolled in Morehouse College, and they continued their attempts to enroll at Georgia. Holmes' mother, an Atlanta school teacher, received harassing phone calls when he applied for transfer and admission at Athens. Federal Judge William Bootle ordered their admission on January 10th of 1961, ruling in a case in which they were represented by Horace Ward and his partner Donald L. Holloway. Donald L. Hollowell, with assistance from veteran civil rights attorney Constant Baker Motley. Bootle then stayed his order. Appeals Judge Albrecht Total reversed the stay, and the Supreme Court backed Total. When Hunter and Holmes arrived on the campus, Vandiver moved to cut off state funds and to change the laws that required the cutoff. Judge Bootle enjoined the governor from denying state funds to the university. However, hundreds of the students, 7,400 students, hundreds of the school's 7,400 students signed a petition against closing the university. Other students augmented by part of the crowd coming from a January 11 Georgia Tech basketball game joined Klan leader Calvin Craig and his minions in rioting outside Charlayne Hunter's dormitory. Windows were broken and rocks were thrown at the Athens police and university personnel headed by William Tate, dean of men, who stood like a wall against the rioters. According to Hunter, fire hoses and tear gas finally dispersed the mob of 2,000. So Hunter and Holmes were suspended the following day and taken to their Atlanta homes by the state police. That evening, the local chapter of the American Association of the University Professors called a faculty meeting to protest the explosion, and half of the 600 faculty came. So history professor Horace Montgomery prepared a resolution supporting the readmission of the two that eventually 400 faculty signed. So on January 16th, Judge Bootle ordered Hamilton and Holmes readmission. Two students and 8 Klansmen involved in the riots were indicted, and 13 students were suspended from the university for their part in the disturbance. Despite widespread support for Hunter and Holmes and condemnation of the rioters, the Georgia legislature passed a resolution praising the faculty who refused to sign the faculty petition and urged reinstatement of the expelled troublemaking students. All right. So Holmes and Hunter became two of the university's most celebrated graduates. Hamilton Holmes graduated cum laude with a Phi Beta Kappa key and a $1,200 scholarship to Emory Medical School. Although theology and graduate students had called for Emory to begin admitting qualified black students in the mid 1950s, the school did not admit its first black student until 1962. Holmes graduated from Emory in 1967 and became a respected orthopedic surgeon with offices in Atlanta and Conyers, and a trustee of University of Georgia Foundation. All right, so again, this coming from this book right here, a very powerful book, very powerful information. If you want to learn about Georgia history, if you can find it, because I don't think you can find it on Amazon, because like I said, it's out of print. But if you're lucky to find it, you'll find a lot of great information about Georgia's history, especially when it comes to black history in the South. Okay. And so I also recommend another book. Now it's dealing with Atlanta history, but it's necessary, right? It's called The Legend of Black Mecca: Politics and Class in the Making of Modern Atlanta by Maurice J. Hobson. All right. So if you guys had never got this book yet, please get it. But that's all I have for the information today. But I want to say this for those who may feel some kind of way or who may wonder, well, why is it important that we know about this history, etc. Woo. Well, because if it wasn't for people like H.E. Holmes and Charlayne Hunter, a lot of black kids would not be able to go to these PWI schools, which means prestigious white institution. They would not be able to go. They would not be able to attend. But it's a lot of misconception because people think that if you go to a PWI school, that's a win for you automatically. As if HBCUs are nothing or they don't play any significant roles. And they do. They play a significant roles in our lives. The HBCUs were created for a reason, to give black people the foundation to have an education, to be able to get whatever type of degrees they want to get. Okay? So we can't dismiss the HBCUs. Well, people think that when they go to PWI's institution, that they are automatically winning. Like they are the smartest thing on the planet. As opposed to if you go to HBCU, you're not as smart, you're not as intelligent. And that's where the problem begins. That's where I have an issue when it comes down to, okay, a black person going to a prestigious white college and a black person going to HBCU. And now you have a situation where it can create a division. And this is where you have the classism happening. Okay. Because you got this black person that walking around saying, well, I went to University of Georgia, or I went to Georgia State University, or I went to Harvard University or Stanford University or whatever. They have this attitude like as if they are way better or way more advanced than everybody else. And that's a problem. That's a problem right there. Because it's not for you to look down on other people, especially your own people, because they didn't get an opportunity to go to these institutions, right? But it's to bring inspiration to them. So if they want to, they have the options to go to any school they want to attend. Or if they want to get a trade, they can always go get a trade. You know what I'm saying? And we cannot, and speaking of trade, I think that's a great thing for those who really want to get into like mechanics or whatever. It's nothing wrong with getting a trade. But then we got people who look down on that too. We got people that figure, oh, because if you go get a trade, that means you're not pushing yourself hard enough. Instead of looking at it as it's a start to get where you need to be, to get to your level of advancement. You got people thinking, oh, you did not push hard enough. You did not try to put forth effort into wanting to go into a university to make something better out yourself. It's already challenging as it is. It's very challenging in the job marketing. So for those who are getting a trade and they're able to get a job, they're fortunate. And as long as they can be able to do something productive, they're fortunate. Because not many people fortunate to get up and be able to go to a college, university, or go to a trade school and find a decent job. Some people are going to be stuck with just a 9 to 5. And then there are those who are not going to be able to get a 9 to 5. You know? So, this is one of the reasons why I am very inspired to do Black History, because I want to show people there is some inspiration, there is some form of hope. Now, the chances, we don't know what's the chances of possibility that this is going to happen or this is going to take place, but at least you can see that there is some hope happening. And that's what we should do. We should like inspire each other to want to be better and not bring or not come in to condemn or to give such harsh criticism to where we feel like we're not motivated. And then I'm tired of saying that if you work hard, you get where you need to be. It's not always about working hard. You got people that don't work hard all their entire lives and they still did not reach the pinnacle of success. Such as our ancestors during the time of slavery. There was many of them that worked hard, but a lot of them did not get a chance to see success. A lot of them did not get a chance to be able to own some land and get a decent paying job. They didn't get that opportunity. So it wasn't mean that they did not work hard. It was because of the circumstances and condition they were dealing with during the time period. So the concept of working hard is not really a thing of being successful. Really, it's about networking. Because if you're able to network, you can get to where you need to go. There's a saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? So the networking part is very important. So you can work hard all you want to, but if you don't really have the network, then it's going to be kind of hard to get your foot anywhere. But if you are able to network, then you have a greater chance. So let's just bring about some inspiration to people who want to be inspired. All right. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in, watching. I appreciate every last one of you. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Trey. Shout out to Mulatto Rights Activist. Shout out to Spirit Wonder. Thank you, Asiatic Soldier. And make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. And I will keep you guys posted on when I will come back in and do more videos and speaking about more subject matter, etc. So I don't be here very often. And I'm not going to be on here as much, but I will keep you guys posted. So just keep an eye on that. I'll let you guys know. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy your day. And for those of us that got snowed in, I hope I seen some people out there enjoying themselves in the snow. They was skiing down the street and riding a bicycle, the little motor pads, motorcycles, people out there partying because they was happy that it was snowing. Me, I'm not a fan of the snow. You can have the damn snow. I like summertime. I'm a summer person, so y'all can have that snow. I don't got time for slipping and falling and busting my ass. I don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then when it get icy, when it start turning to ice, that's when it get worse. That black ice is the worst thing you could ever experience. So yeah, I don't got time for the snow, but I see people out there enjoying themselves. Hey, that's all that matters. If you enjoy yourself, you like it, cool. I love it for you. All right. So peace and be safe and happy 2025. Yeah, happy 2025. I was getting ready to say 24, but happy 25 to everybody. And I hope you guys have a prosperous year and peace.